Man, this game sucks. Why does anyone even play that? I can't even get past the first level. How do people even... You know what? Whatever. Wait, hold up. Who are you? How'd you get into my house? I know for a fact I did not forget to lock my front door, alright? I think I would know better than that. Whatever, that doesn't even matter. Can you please just leave? No, you're not gonna leave. You want me to give you something? Is this a robbery? Then just leave. You know what? Fine. You know what? I think I don't want to get you to leave, alright? I happened to get this book today, alright? This red book right here, it goes over 3 Roblox myths. I haven't even read it personally. I just put it on the shelf for decoration. But now since you're here, if I read to you, will you agree to leave? Then it's settled. We have ourselves a deal. Well, make yourself at home. Actually, scratch that. Don't make yourself at home. You're an intruder, and let's get this over with. 3 Roblox myths. Black Sundays. Black Sundays is an older myth that doesn't have a lot of information about them, but there is still some. Black Sundays created their Roblox account on the 2nd of February, 2011. The account and the myth itself was tied to another Roblox myth, Nimoy, though it has split into its own separate thing for the most part. The myth has a game, specifically Black Sundays Place. Inside the game, you spawn inside a classic Roblox house, with a bed against a wall. You can leave the house, but since the many Roblox updates, using the slingshot to knock over the unanchored part over is a lot harder now. Outside in the front, there's a shack of some sort off to the side. However, personally, I could not leave the house, but thankfully, others have and have gone over. The small shack holds a single image of the Mona Lisa, with nothing else inside. If the player goes to the back of the house and touches the wall with the Mona Lisa, they'd be teleported to a second game, with a burnt-in gray tractor outside another house. One thing to note from the first game is there also is a part giver that is unreachable outside the map. As much as I've looked into it, this is as far as anyone seems to have gotten. So going back to how it's connected to Nimoy, there really isn't much from that can help us solve Black Sunday. The biggest reason why Black Sunday is probably not solved is due to the termination of their account of the same year, so the myth was only active for a very short time compared to others. Even though the myth was short-lived with its activity, from word of mouth to those who investigated the myth when it was active, whenever someone got close to figuring it out, Black Sunday themselves would join and persuade the person to stop their search. Also from the same people, they also say he was very persuasive in his demands. It is also said that those who do not heed his demands and warnings would have their Roblox account terminated. So it is believed that Black Sunday held the power to remove people's Roblox accounts for those who did not listen. The name Black Sunday could also be in reference to a historical event near Arkansas and Kansas on April 14th, 1935. This idea would fit the bill considering the game's overall setting and atmosphere replicates that time era, from the sand and dust on the floor and the tractor inside of the second game. As far as I know, and as of now, Black Sunday is still unsolved, but it can also just be the fact that this myth was never complete due to their termination. But I guess we'll never get an honest answer. Annie. Annie is a myth that is more popular in recent times, I would say. The myth began on December 15th, 2016, the same day her account was created. Annie has a much larger story at hand compared to Black Sundays, so a good portion of her section will make up of it. It is presumed that Annie was born on February 18th, 2006, and was 10 years old when she created her first and only Roblox account. Annie had an abusive mother growing up, and when I say abusive, I mean it. For example, Annie once broke a plate on accident, and in turn for punishment, her mother killed her own daughter's dog, and on top of that, she also fed the dog to her own daughter. Upon Annie realizing and figuring out what her mom did to her, she unsuccessfully tried to kill her own mother. Though Annie failed in her attempt to kill her mother, it only resulted in her mother locking Annie inside their house and burning it down, killing Annie in the process. Though her troubling backstory ends here, there is still much more to Annie and the myth overall, and this is where it might truly begin. The story picks back up when Anne messages a rising Roblox developer who is a myth fanatic. She contacts the developer after seeing his portfolio and wanting them to help her with her place. The developer became confused, as their set chat privileges were set to friends only, and they never friended Anne. The developer asked if Annie is one of their sister's friends possibly, which Annie denied and asked him to join her game. The developer initially ignored her messages and decided to play Roblox, but once Annie was spamming them, they obliged and toured Annie's place. Annie was super excited with their arrival, and they talked about her enjoyment of cookies and cats. After around 10 minutes, Annie told them that their mom told her to go to bed, and she left the game. In the subsequent week, Annie messaged the developer to play her game again. They followed with her request, but were bothered by how Annie included the frowny face on her avatar in her messages. Annie still kept her cheerful attitude as they both conversated in the game. All seemed to be going well, until the developers started to become uncomfortable with some of the questions Annie was constantly asking them. Annie would ask them about their home location, if they've ever eaten a raw dog, and if they ever wanted to touch rusty nails. Annie also stated that they couldn't leave the game unless they answered specific questions. After multiple attempts to stop Annie from asking from the developer ended up leaving the game and blocking her. 2 days later, Annie sent agitated messages to them along with the disturbed questions from before. She told them that they cheated by not answering her questions before they left. She then began sending messages to elect a response for them, some even going as far as that she was about to die, though the developer still ignored Annie. The developer tried to get their mind off the situation, but when they went to go play a game, they were redirected to Annie's place instead. Annie wasn't amused to see them there, asking them why they were disrespectful to her. She did eventually calm down after being reassured by the developer. The developer in question did want to see Annie after the incident, but was forced into playing with her. Inside of the game, Annie had blood running across her face, and her dogs that would reside in her yard were gone. She talked about what she enjoyed in a somber mood. After a while though, Annie told them, "It's hot in here," and left the game. Inside of the game, her house then started burning with a burning black figure inside smiling. So with that story said, let's take a look at Annie's game. The game is the new basic Roblox place template. However, every structure and tree is colored pink. There's also a cat and dog in and outside the house, respectively. Scattered around the map, there are these boxes with items inside, and these boxes contain items that are already in inventory when you join the game, such as the speed coil, gravity coil, etc. The only thing of note besides the recolored parts are a skeleton with a note, a gray box underneath the map, and a body pillow of Sally from Sally Face. The skeleton kills you once you touch it, and the note says, "I defied God." The Sally Face pillow could also just be a reference of another horror game, with a slightly similar story, so most likely just an Easter egg. The floating box underneath the map houses something inside, but from what I could see, I cannot get in. Though I wouldn't be surprised that there is a way in, it's just that I couldn't find one. From what I could see online about this myth, that it's been retired, but some believe there is more than we haven't seen yet, and we're just waiting for someone to find the answer to this all. Once again, only time will tell what comes up, if anything, about this myth. Ulifer. So upon actually doing research about this myth, it's quite evident that this myth is probably the most controversial myth to ever exist in the Roblox community, and for very good reasons. I do not doubt why it is. This myth contains very heavy topics. It involves things with minors, and also the drama in real life also has some things to do with the minors and the creator, and I'll get to that in a bit. But for now, I'll go over the general story of Ulifer and what the myth is about. Ulifer is regarded to be a dangerous myth due to his past incidents and supposed IP grabbing. He is most known for his affiliation with the Shadelight investigation. Ulifer lures children to his game Paradise, and then brings them into another game, Asylum. He also then proceeds to track them. Rumors are that numerous people have disappeared because of this user. Regarding the IP grabbing, Ulifer joined the game with fellow myth hunter Enzo, and he asked if he lived in France, which was correct. However, this is widely believed to have been public information at the time, as on Enzo's Skype it displayed his location. In lore, Ulifer is an unconfirmed asylum escapist, pedophile, child molester, rapist, and a criminally insane citizen of France, likely Paris or the surrounding area. He IP tracks children to keep them safe, likely for his own personal pleasures. Ulifer only takes those that appeal to his level of fun, by playing twisted games with children. And now onto the more serious part of the video. The creator of Ulifer and the Shadelight investigations is a man named Kazdam. Kazdam was very active in the myth hunting community, and he also began to create his own myths, hence Shadelight investigations. On August 15th, 2020, and leading into the 16th, Hollow's Fog and Taffy's confronted Kazdam about the atrocities he has committed. They exposed Kazdam of grooming 3 underage girls, abusing his current girlfriend, manipulating and lying to his audience and friends, and also defending pedophilia. A whole event began because of this. Lots of arguing, people picking sides, discords being wiped, and friends being ruined. Kazdam, shortly after the controversy started, made a document about his innocence in the situation. He later deleted the tweet due to him being under heavy fire for out-of-context screenshots, lying, and manipulating caught in the document. Kazdam later then confirmed he had groomed 2 underage girls, he did abuse his girlfriend, and the rest of the allegations thrown at him. After everything settled, he did resign from his position from being the head of RM Foundation. Because of this, a lot of people have had a sour taste in their mouth for the myth hunting community. I don't blame them. This is a horrible event to happen, and it sucks that one person basically ruined it for everyone else. However, if any myth hunters are watching, or anyone who creating a myth is watching, I highly implore all of you to continue going on. Even if Kazdam has put a taint on the reputation of myths, Roblox myths are a great section of the community, and I loved always going over them. I hope one day we can actually talk about myths without bringing up Kazdam and the atrocities that came with them. But for now, we'll push on, and we'll continue making some of the best things we can. Well, that got a little serious at the end. Regardless of that, though, I hope you enjoyed me reading you these 3 myths I got from this book today. Even though you are an home intruder, you ain't too bad of an audience. So I'll say what, I had a lot of fun doing this. So maybe if you come back, maybe bring some friends, we could do this again sometime. I'll look around, I'll find some more books to buy for you. I'll be ready when you come back. But seriously though, you can leave now.